What is up, y'all? We got all the tea on Whitney Houston's family drama and more on Black Hollywood Lives this week.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week. Let's go. I got angels watching over me. I got. Yeah. Covered in the blood of Jesus. Born in the city of angels, where Satan be scheming your weakness in. Ready to wrangle and tangle you with demons that seething. To mangle and strangle your believing, deceiving and reaving. Leaving you grieving, a legion of treason. The reason he competing and cheating, deleting your faith. Leaving you wraith, leaving you draped, completely reshaped, undermining your base. Yeah, the message is clear. God is always near when you're faced with a desire. God is always here when you're walking with the fire. Stay walking with no fear. Stay praying with no fear. He got you. Angels and saints when you giving them.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Black Hollywood Lives this week. I'm your host, Derrial, Christon. Joining me today is Courtney Stewart.
Hello, everybody.
I'm feeling your whole little look today, Courtney. You got this, you know.
Trying to deal with the heat.
I feel you. I feel you. All right, and we got two special guests today. You were just watching one of the videos from them right now.
Yeah.
Emcee N.I.C.E is in the house.
Yes, most definitely in the building today.
In the house. I feel that necklace right there, my man.
And, brother, I'm representing God to the fullest.
Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. And we also got, you know him from Snowfall, Malcolm Mays in the house with the 5 buttons down, using me. But you know.
Hold on. You're not gonna start this interview off like that. I can already see it.
I've been giving them crap the whole time.
The coalition is already forming. Let me just let y'all know.
You saying we forming the force right now?
Oh God, I ain't letting it go down. He right here. We clicked up. We knew. We knew. Don't let them trick you into thinking that you on their squad.
Y'all see it's gonna be a fun show today. We happy. We got a full panel. It's a family squad.
Wow.
I'm loving that track, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Feeling it, man.
Yeah,
Thank you
can I
very
just
much.
say, like I got on a gospel kick this season, like because we was filming in parts of LA that were very, for me, like growing up here, I could never even go to back when I was a kid because they was just so dangerous. It was just out of line. Like you're not going to East LA. You're
Right.
not going to
Oh,
that
yeah.
things.
Most definitely.
You know, so I remember like feeling like kind of very grateful, and I was just pressing play on some playlists, and your song came up.
Oh,
When
word?
we was out there talking, I didn't even know that, like, I didn't know it was you.
Oh, word?
It just, that's why I was like, wait, I played this. I was like,
that's
this was because I didn't know it was you.
praise
So that's
God,
kind of
brother.
dope.
Yeah,
That's kind of
praise
dope. Like,
God.
I didn't even
Yeah.
know. Like, you've been on my playlist on the
Oh, that's what's up.
So your
man.
track even more famous than you even knew. You know, you were, you know what I'm saying?
I can't listen to no more T Grizzly, man. I need to go to church. No, I was playing
Nah,
you.
you can still bump T Grizzly.
No, that's my boy.
Yeah,
No,
T
but I was
is
playing
dope.
you and
I
Chloe and
appreciate
Hallie a
that.
lot.
Yeah,
I'm
appreciate
feeling that. It's a family
Yes.
affair. I'm feeling that. That's a
Yeah.
good note to start the show on today.
Touching
Good
hearts
energy.
and lives everywhere.
That's right.
Love it.
What you got
Amen.
for us today, Courtney?
All right, we're going to jump into some stories, and we like to obviously start off on a positive note because we
Yes.
got some positive news. And I took this story because I got to give a shout out to my hometown, ATL, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
And also the nerds out there that's on the debate team because I was one of y'all. So
I
this
was on the
past
debate team, too.
weekend,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah, me
see?
too.
So this past weekend, 25 students from Atlanta, Georgia made history at the Harvard Debate Council. It's a competition that happens over the summer. Basically, kids from all over the world, not just the United States, from Russia, China, everywhere, come in. They go to Harvard a few weeks, and they have this major debate tournament. And there's the Harvard Debate Council has a diversity project that they started, and this is the first year that these students from Atlanta they were given a scholarship basically to go into a program for a few weeks where a lot of them are learning to debate for the very first time. They went, they came, they saw, they conquered, they won that tournament, and one of the kids from Atlanta, his name is Jordan Thomas. He took the whole competition, so
Yeah,
he
the whole
finished
thing.
first. And I'll let y'all know, this is not a small thing, okay? These debate tournaments are no joke, and most of the kids that they're competing against are kids that go to prep schools,
Yep.
like in the New
Northeast.
England and Northeast
sure.
area. That competition is stiff. So the idea, number one, that they made it to the finals, and then that the boy won, over all of them is huge. Yeah. So congratulations to them, and congratulations to Harvard for doing this incentive to get those scholarships going. And basically, these kids, they're basically looking for kids that could possibly be in contingent for full scholarships to go to Harvard once they graduate high school.
That's huge.
So,
that's huge.
Cheers.
Yeah, I gotta clap for that. You know what I'm saying? That's mad props.
That was amazing, and I was so happy for them. So, and I'm glad that people still debating because it's cool like that. Okay. So next up, we have not so positive news, but an interesting thought conversation about whether or not black women got to keep supporting black men even when they going sideways.
Wait, what?
So,
how we gonna go from scholarships? You got a panel of men right here, Courtney.
Well, that's why I was excited. I was like,
that's
like when I was picking my stories, I was like, oh, this gonna be an interesting little conversation about these black men.
That wasn't on the document.
She tried to slide that in.
She slid that one in. I don't remember that one on the bullet points.
Make sure y'all got representation. Look, it's for three of y'all. Y'all, for those of y'all listening, I'm the only female on the panel right now. There's some other ladies in the building.
Yeah, we got 2 black women right over there.
But so we're gonna hear what the brothers got to say. So this week, Miss Leslie Jones, she's been getting a hard time again. She's been having some trouble on social media for the last few years.
A lot of stuff on social
media. She gets hit harshly
on social media. Why are we talking about this in juxtaposition to Harvard?
Well, you know, because it was young black men, you know, doing amazing at Harvard, and then it's young black men that Leslie Jones wants to have a conversation with.
Wait, so what happened?
Basically what happened on social media, somebody said something. We're not entirely certain directly what she was responding to, but as of Wednesday, she let her fans know that she's done putting up with disrespectful remarks from young men, particularly young black men. And she tweeted, quote, "When young men, especially black men, yeah, I said it, talk to me like I'm some dumb bitch, it makes me want to stomp a mud hole in their ass. That is all. I'm about to show these fools the content in my heart." And then a bunch of people started tweeting at her like, how dare you say black men? Like, why aren't you supporting them? Some of the people saying things like, where's the uplifting of black men? You're a famous person. Somebody came at her and said, mama, you gotta let the whites know this ain't addressed to them. They don't get to talk down to our brothers. Why are you talking down to our brothers on a public forum? So she got a lot of heat for it, and she just disappeared completely off Twitter at some point for the last couple of days because she doesn't want to deal with it anymore.
Wait, so this is, we don't even know who she's directed to?
We don't know who it's directed to, other than she said young black men, specifically, and men in general, but she has had a history of being attacked by what appear to be black men on social media that are constantly coming for her appearance, for how she talks, how she does, like everything, and it's been pretty harsh. Literally, there is an article right now that is online that is called "Why Black Men Do Not Want to Date Leslie Jones."
Wait, what did she say again? I just want to know exactly what she said before we get to comment.
Okay, well, she said, when young men, especially black men, yeah, I said it in parentheses, talk to me like I'm some dumb bitch, it makes me want to stump a mud hole in their ass. That is all.
Justified.
Hashtag, I'm about to show these fools the content.
But so basically, a bunch of people talked to her that way, a bunch of men. She just said, especially black men, as if they do it more.
Especially black men.
No.
She did go on to...
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to overtalk you, but it sounded to me, actually, like she was saying she's particularly offended.
That's what I took it as,
by that. Not necessarily any, like, she's like, it's when was with the qualifier for me. Right. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, we got to be particular with language. She sounded like she just hurt.
Yeah.
And it sounded like she's just saying if somebody stepped to, you know, if y'all gonna keep playing with me, I'm not gonna be playing no more. Right. I don't see no problem with it. What you?
Yeah, man, I'm just pray for her.
Oh yeah, you can't condone the violence. Oh, this is my spot, man. We good.
Right, look, I'm on Snowfall. I feel you. Here's the thing. I mean, we know that Leslie went through her things a couple years ago where her phone was hacked and you know, all the nude pictures were out there. And she got a lot of slack on that. It was like 2 years ago. She actually got off of social media for a while because people were really going in on her even on that. I think she gets a hard time. I think that she also... probably there are some black men who go in on her because Leslie is an outspoken black woman and she is see you setting me up. Courtney, I know when Courtney is about to set me up because she give me the she give me that.
That was
Oh, okay, all right.
What just happened?
I'm supporting you, sharing your
Because I'm ready for her to go in on me. She ready to go.
There's nothing
Sound
to
like
go
y'all
in
got
on.
some
What are you talking
backstory.
about?
Okay, all right. I just want to know what I'm walking into. Okay.
Mommy and daddy don't fight. He's just here for the night.
All right, my bad. My bad. If I was wrong, I take it back.
See how you jump to conclusions?
See, I jumped to conclusions.
Like everybody on Twitter.
Like everybody else on Twitter about Leslie. You know, I feel bad for her sometimes. So I think that Leslie gets a bad rap, you know, and even when I don't know what it is about her, but she does get really. I mean, people were going in on her even when she had the new pics that were leaked from her phone, calling her apes and all kind of very
harsh,
derogatory, harsh things. So I think she's very sensitive right now with anything, and I know some of those people who were saying things were of people of color.
Well, then she completely just, I don't understand like she didn't even say I'm going to commit an act of violence against the perpetrator against me or those perpetrators against me. She said if y'all keep pressing me, I'm going to reach the end of limits of my of me being a cordial human being in the public spotlight. I think that's completely fair, especially when I didn't know that.
It's a lot. Yeah.
They went in on her when the news leaked and all that, but you know, at the end of the day, it's like that's going to come regardless.
Yeah.
No matter if you're in the position of being seen by people and fame, you're going to get the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
You know, especially me being a Christian rapper, you know, coming from the secular world. Like I produced Tupac, I produced N.I.C.E, you know, but coming into the secular side of things, I mean, coming into the Christian side of things.
It's kind of dope, dog. You can't just roll over.
You can't just be like, that's like rap
Tupac and Nas.
That's rap royalty. Like, he was just like, you know,
Tupac and Nas.
Well, I mean, while I'm at Thug's Mansion, you know, right, is the song. So, at the end,
was cracking me up.
I'm just. But the thing is, and going into the gospel scene side of things, you get looked at differently because they're going, okay, who's this secular dude in the gospel world? You know, is he really representing Christ?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand from the perspective of where she's coming from, and at some point, you know, luckily God is really walking with me, so
I feel that,
I can just let that roll on off and just let my work be the result of the actions.
But so you always are able to let it roll off your back. You know, I mean, because when people say stuff that is untrue and about you, you know, I don't care who you are. I feel like it always is it's gonna get to you. How you handle it after that is how you handle it. But it always stings a little bit. So how do you just let it always roll off?
I let it motivate me.
Okay.
You know, see, I got a motto: for any great achievement, someone has to be the first to do it. So why not you? You know what I mean? So every day I'm trying to achieve. You know what I mean? And so when people hit me with a negative, I take that and let that be the motivation for something positive.
Well, see, that's why he number one, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I need to.
I'm over here
I'm gonna receive. Receive some of that. I'm gonna receive that. We gonna go to church up in here. I'm gonna receive that.
There's a couple of people right now straight up could get it, bro. I'm sitting there like, dang, didn't Jesus get mad in that temple that one time? I'm over here looking for random facts. Like, hey, but God got mad that one time too. Jesus went ham.
You might go in on my. I feel like you go in.
Bro, I'll be chilling because at the end of the day, like, what if I mean. There's two decisions you can make in this industry, right? There's two decisions you can make as a human being. You can either choose the path of transcendence and enlightenment and God and Jesus and the warmth of Christ, or you could choose, you know, being a human being and your base instincts, which are usually, you know, end up not very well.
Right.
But you know, and those indulgences come with their consequences. I personally, because I am of the secular world still, I feel like everybody's gonna do what they want to do as long as you can face the consequences with as much energy as you came and created that with, then do what you will as long as it's not women and children. She's a woman. And I don't care if that sounds patriarchal because I don't think so. I think that if a woman gives birth, that makes her more important to me. That's just my personal opinion. I think women are more important. I think they're more sacred. And if that's the case, and her body was out here, and her temple was out here, and she operated with that much like decorum is for however long she been kicking it and being all right, because I ain't heard nothing negative from her. I ain't never heard her go off like that. And she from Compton? I'm like, I'm surprised she ain't beat nobody up yet. I'm surprised. Hey, bro, I'm from the city. Like, I'm surprised she's operated with this much decorum on some. Like, I'll support her in for whatever positive she been doing, and hopefully, like you said, she keep walking in that because they just looking for her to act a fool.
I do believe that.
So for sure.
People want a reaction.
Right.
So as black men in the industry, you don't feel that she has an extra responsibility to not negatively speak of the black man on a public forum.
I don't. but
Well,
that's
I
me.
just think that she has the right to protect herself.
Right.
That's what I think first. If somebody violates that, then, to each his own.
Yep.
Okay, I
That's the
agree with
G-est
both of those
response.
things. That is, I know. He made me want to change my response, but I'm not. I'm gonna stick with what I'm about to say. But he made me want to change my response. I can't
We
lie.
was in a good spot, Derrial.
No. What I'm saying is that I agree with both of them. But what I'm saying is that, but if you're attacked, and I do think there's a responsibility as black people in this community that sometimes the perception of what we say about each other is perceived differently to people who are not black. So we have to be careful about what we say about each other. Now, what she said, I'm fine with, because that is directing very specific things towards her, and if that's what happened, that's cool. But sometimes I feel like people say negative things, us as people of color and black folks, that other people who are white can take that and run with it and look at us like, see, they don't even get along with each other.
Oh, you talking about the Black Code of Silence?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a deeper, this is a
Oh, you
deeper
talking about
subject.
the? Oh, we can't talk about that, bro.
I mean,
And does the Black Code of Silence really go both ways?
It don't.
It don't.
Sorry, D.
I mean, I got
All the black women in
outnumbered.
the room.
I got outnumbered. I'm just saying.
All right, well, we're done with that story.
That's what you was talking about when she was waiting for you.
See, I told you she be waiting for me.
I got the opinions of 3 black men on the panel. This isn't all women talking about, see, it don't work both ways. And
Now, when you say both ways, actually, let me just make sure because I think we just stamped that real quick. 'Cause in this situation, I completely agree that it doesn't work both ways, because I really would have liked to have seen more black men than what I saw, supporting her and being like, no, you're right. You should feel more hurt by the fact that we the ones, because we supposed to protect you. Because they, ain't nobody, if anybody else gonna be on the line, they should be on.
They gave it back. They gave the heart.
You know what I'm saying?
You're giving a lot of heart to them. Like, can I get a heart?
You be messing up.
I agreed. I just said there also is a certain format that we need to follow sometimes.
Stop the butts, dear. Stop the butts.
All right, see, we're
Go to your next
going to get into this
we
in the
got,
next
we got
story.
interviews to do.
All right, we're going to move on to our EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
Speaking on black crime, Sissy Houston, Whitney Houston's mother, is also in the news right now. I know y'all heard this story. So there's a documentary out right now that's a Whitney documentary, and apparently it was they interviewed 60 of Whitney's closest friends and family members. There was one on Showtime that was on that kind of gave a background of what had gone on the last few years of Whitney's life before her death. But this one apparently really goes in, and it's very specific about the information that is revealed as far as like her relationship with Robin and her relationship, with her family and with Bobby. And also one of the biggest things that came up about this is that allegedly her brother Gary has said that, well, not even allegedly, her brother Gary said that he and Whitney were molested by his cousin, which is Dionne Warwick's sister, Dee Dee.
Yeah, they church people, ain't they?
They church God-loving folks. And this has sent. I'm like, I don't know where Malcolm wanted me to go.
That's another one of those black
I was like, I don't know. I'm staying out of that one. But within this documentary, so it was revealed that happened. Sissy has not been happy about it, and Dionne Warwick has not been happy about it, because at first they were saying, listen, Whitney is dead and Dee Dee is dead, so there's no necessarily truth to this story. Gary has gone in and still said that this is the truth, and apparently Sissy's not hearing it. She called up Gary and told him that she was taking him out of the will. She has apparently disowned him, and there's a big rivalry that's going on right now within the family. So what do you guys think about Sissy's reactions to all of this that's going on?
Wait, hold up. Did this happen when they was kids?
Yes, the molestation happened when both Whitney and Gary
5 to 9
years old. I think it was 5 to 8, and apparently in the documentary it kind of speaks about how the reason that Whitney had such a big drug addiction was also because of the molestation that happened as a kid that was never really revealed. So
I wasn't blaming the black church. I just wanted to know the setting. I wanted to, because I know that they were church people. So did this happen while they were in, like, doing rehearsal? Like, what
well, they say
setting?
that the story is that Sissy was on tour a lot during this time, and the kids were staying with family, and supposedly this was happening while she would be out on tour. She had no idea, and that kind of thing. I don't think it's clear as to whether or not she was ever told anything when they were young.
Yeah.
But she's making it seem as though this is the first of her hearing
about it, yeah.
with the documentary.
And Gary
out.
said, I was 8 or 9 and I was fondled from time to time. It was a situation I didn't understand. I knew it was abnormal. That's what Gary was quoted to say. Well, she's never spoken about it. She has never
spoken on it.
Yeah, it's all in the documentary.
Well, I think they're saying, though, that she has spoken on it to friends.
Friends, quietly.
So it's still hearsay at this point because she can't
those friends
confirm or deny.
They are. Apparently in the documentary, they are speaking.
And supposedly she shared it with her brother because it was also happening to him.
Now, the family also has denied that. They said that Gary's lying because Sissy has said that Gary's lying about this, so that's the rift that's going on in the story.
See, it's hard to really comment on something where all parties are not there to really make their case. Like, he's made his case and it's being broadcast before the world, and then Sissy, who knows, is upset about that because it may be true or it may not.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and it may be something that she never wanted to see the light of day, and for that to happen. But because Whitney's not here, the Dee Dee's not here,
right?
You know what I'm saying? I can't make a comment on that in regards to whether to buy into Cece's reaction or not.
Yeah, and Sissy.
I'm sorry, Sissy.
No, it's okay. Sissy also made a statement saying that at the end of the day. Right, exactly. Exactly. She also made a statement basically saying that listen, at the end of the day, if this is true, I'm sure that Whitney would not want this put on a documentary for the world to see before she had a chance to discuss it with everyone else as well. So you made a face there, Courtney. Why'd you make that face?
I don't know, because I don't know. I mean, like you said, it's hard to comment because I wasn't there like that. But if it's Gary's truth, it's Gary's truth. But I know that the family probably feels like Gary's had a lot of issues and drugs being a part of that and what have you. And I don't. It's kind of sad just because it almost feels like maybe this is sort of the missing link of why there was such soul trouble. Yeah. From Whitney as well as her brother, and nobody obviously can confirm. But then do we not? Because it could have been a healing moment for him if it really is the truth, and to have his mom come back and disown him and publicly have an issue with it. And
I got a question. If it was Whitney saying it, would we operate with as much objectivity?
Yeah,
that's what I want to know.
That's a good question.
I'm sitting here dang, I really respect that y'all are keeping very objective. I don't know, we don't know. And if we don't know, we can't condemn, right? Yeah. But if this was, children, if they were still children and we knew about this situation, or if this was a little, the little girl was coming out about this in this climate, would we treat it with as much? Well, I don't know.
Well, that's why I feel bad for Gary.
Yeah, because if he's telling the truth, we haven't shown him very much.
Yeah, but he's blaming it on saying that Whitney's had troubled times coming up. Yeah. But at the same time, if you're in the music business, and Whitney was, she's been in the music business her whole life, you go through things in the music business, that could easily turn your life left or right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know if those things she went through in the music business may have turned her life left or right.
That's true.
In conjunction with what my man is talking about. So, like I said, I can't objectively say, Cece's wrong or Sissy's wrong or my man is wrong, because at the end of the day, the other two people aren't the other victim, and the one that they blaming is not here to talk on her behalf.
Yeah, I would be interested to see if Bobby ever makes a statement, because I would assume that they had a very intimate, he and Whitney had a very intense, intimate relationship, and if this is true, I can't imagine that she would have never revealed that to him. That's just my personal opinion.
But she could have not. So many victims don't reveal that, especially going to other partners, so that it doesn't cloud the relationships that you are in. So that's sort of part, especially if you live in a family that especially at that time, sweep it under the rugs in ways, and then we already as a culture sweep abuse and things like that under the rugs. Then black people, it's another level of sweeping it under the rug. Then you went to church, that's another level of sweeping it under the rug.
Not only that, the era in which
exactly.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
So I don't know, that's rough. It's sad though.
It's sad. Really hopefully they can work that out. And it was also revealed today that Sissy's suffering from dementia. So
then how she cutting people out of wills?
First stage of dementia. That's what was revealed today. So
how's she controlling the estate if she's?
I mean, well, that was before. I mean, but now if this is just revealed, that's already, you know, she was already taking care of that. So
This other people's business, my dude. I'll stay out that. I just hope everybody
go watch the documentary. I want to see it, so I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it.
I haven't seen it either.
I haven't seen it.
It's amazing.
I heard it's great. All right, we're going to move on to our last story so we get into these interviews. Obama, we were talking about him a little bit earlier, Mr. Swag, and I know that Malcolm's got a lot to say about this. He is in the news again. Some of us miss Obama being the president. I don't know if everybody on the panel does, but I do.
Let me ask this: has anybody in here met Obama?
I have.
Personally, how long? What did you spend? How much time did you spend with him?
15 minutes.
I spent 5 hours with Obama.
Okay.
That's my guy.
Yes,
I walked him through Dorsey High School when he was still a candidate for the presidency in South Central Los Angeles, my senior year of school. So that's my guy. I read his book before anybody. I've been a political. I'm really big into the mechanics of how political space works. So like that's my dude. So I just want to make sure that's my guy. I like him as a person. But when we get to talking about sauce, when we get talking about drip, Michelle has it in spades. He got a little bit. Like, if we talking about
But see, that wasn't the conversation earlier. But wait, hold on.
because he wasn't moving.
Now, that wasn't the
Because you
conversation.
didn't ask me. I said, why y'all do that?
You know what I'm saying?
Because y'all be putting the sauce
And
on
see,
the
though,
president.
you know what I'm saying? That wasn't the conversation.
All you heard was black person, Obama, anything that ain't, he's got. Oh, what? You tripping. You said tripping.
Okay, so I want to get. Let me tell this story. Then I want to get into that. Okay, so Obama's made the news this week because he was at an African Leadership Academy in Johannesburg, South Africa, and he was speaking on women empowerment, and he had this to say about men. We got a little clip right here.
Men have been getting on my nerves lately. I mean, I just every day I read the newspaper and I just think, like, brothers, what's wrong with you guys? I mean, what's wrong with us? All right, I mean, we're violent, we're bullying, just not handling our business. So I think empowering more women on the continent, that ought to right away is going to, I think, lead to some better policies. So.
All right, so that was Mr. Obama having that to say about women empowerment. So
that was the what was the name of the conference? It was the woman.
It was the African Leadership Academy in Johannesburg, South Africa, and he was speaking on empowerment of women.
Oh, okay.
And this went viral because people are like, "We miss Obama. He got the swag. He's promoting women." Now, I said that a little bit earlier in the show.
Like, you was putting extra on it because we was talking about a dance video that he did. The original context was the dance video.
Right.
And I'm like, y'all be putting extra sauce on our president. Like, he really like the cool uncle, but we act like he the cool, like...
So you don't think he got the extra swag sauce?
No, Michelle has the extra swag sauce. And let's be real about it, bro. Like I love Obama. Like, can't nobody tell me nothing about Obama. My first time ever voting was for Obama with my grandmother who rode on the back of the bus who told me I was voting for Obama, all right?
Right.
Like, so I just want to make that clear. But when we talking about levels of sauce in drip, like, I think we add, like, I'm big on truth and transparency. He's still a politician.
Sure.
He's still a Harvard grad. He's still a dude from Hawaii. He just happened to ball. So he can lace them shoes up. And we like, oh, he can lace them shoes up. And he got a black wife who got a figure on her. So we're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got big hands. He got a nice smile. Like, oh, we get really excited.
Right.
But if he was with me and my guys, we'd be like, oh, yeah, like he the homie who, he going off to,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but y'all be acting like he really can dance. He make one little hip move and y'all be like, oh, that nigga he can dance.
I feel you.
Yeah, but you got to think of it from this perspective. The White House and everything in it has never had this type of vibe in it. So when that came in, it was so fresh, so new that it was exactly that. You know what I'm saying? When he walked in, hey Michelle. Give us that look. You had it.
He was like,
it was, hey, Michelle.
Right.
Hey, Michelle.
Right.
And she be like, hey, baby. She had the sauce.
Right.
See, I don't think he talked to her like that. I think that they have their own little thing
but
going
I'm saying,
on.
but that's why we put the extras, because that's a reflection of what we really know, what we really be. Sure, it may not be to the standards of what we know it to be behind the scenes, but the mere fact that he's parading that, and we sitting there looking at it like, and the only reason that he wasn't able to be as successful as he could have been is because if you understand politics, then you understand there's a House of Representatives and a Senate. They was preventing him from really achieving the goals that he wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
Or he would have been in my opinion, he's the greatest president ever. But at the end of the day, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't think. Yeah, I think if we get into the actual, mechanics of his
Yeah.
politics, it's gonna be a denser conversation. But I support, bro. But like all presidents got their bad bag, they got their good bag.
Sure.
I don't think there's been one. What they need to come out with, like hip hop. Like we need to come up. Why there's always these debates about who's the best rapper and all this? Because we haven't set a criteria.
Right.
Like when's the last time you had somebody be like, okay, this is what literally if you hit all these points, 10 in this category, 10 in this category, foreign policy, op-ed, whatever, and you hit the certain points in each category to the highest level to service the people, then we'll accumulate it all and that'll judge you, give you a presidency
the
percentage.
unique thing on that is you can never set a criteria only because eras change.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like everybody say, oh, Michael Jordan, oh, Kobe, oh, Magic, oh, only because the eras keep changing.
But it's what I
You know
say.
I'm
That's
saying?
what inflation is for.
But
we gotta
I'm
adjust for inflation.
But
we can adjust for
But
inflation.
when it comes to hip hop though, you know, 'cause I'm a hip hop dude, right? When it comes to hip hop, that's the thing is that the levels, everybody adjusts. Like I can always say like Rakim is my favorite rapper.
Still, period. That's not
You know
an
what I'm
argument.
saying?
I mean,
But Jay-Z's though.
and still underrated though.
Pretty-
I
Oh,
feel like
very underrated.
But by people who don't know
Right.
hip hop, like there should be somebody, even in art, before there was a thing called artistic relativism. So before everybody's like, y'all not letting us in the artistic school, so fuck your school, we gonna do what we want to do. Before Jackson Pollock and them went off and did that, it was like there was a school of thought where people kind of were like, okay, there's vestiges of this thing that we're doing that should be accounted for and presented to those coming behind us. And that's why it's hard for us to have these conversations with people my age. Like I'm talking like I'm with you. Like I feel like things do change, but that's because nobody know no better. If there's no literacy, we can't talk about Rakim. They haven't listened to that album as much as they listen to Kendrick or Cole or
That's true.
who are also very good.
That's
Like,
true.
Let's just be honest. They're really good. But without Rakim, no. There's got to be extra points for being first, right? No?
Well, I mean, but Rakim, you had KRS-One, you had. I tell you one who's really underrated is Coogee Rap.
Wow, you took it to the
You know what I'm
Coogee
saying?
rap. You
I'm
took
just
it back.
because I'm a
You took
hip
it
hop.
back.
I'm a
I
hip
feel
hop
that.
historian.
Coogee.
You know what I'm saying?
I fuck with
So when
Coogee.
you think about from a rhyme standpoint, the rhyme styling then,
Yes.
when there wasn't no F's, S's, and
Nah.
you know what I'm saying, they was really rhyming.
Right.
So we've gotten away from that, but at the end of the day, we have to blame that on the powers that be in regards to that put music in front of people that they listen to and that they watch on TV.
Systemic, you think it's systemic.
Okay, so if you're saying criteria,
Yeah.
if BET had a criteria or MTV had criteria set, then we would probably have better music.
I'm just talking
I'm gonna agree with that. I'm gonna agree with that.
And I'm still a young dude, so judging back to like Obama, like I said, like I feel there's a lot of people who take political history very seriously, so much so that it's a requirement when you go to college or whatever, or even when you're in high school.
Yeah.
Like, not that any of us seem to pay attention because we don't vote right. I'm just saying.
Well,
Look who's in presidency right
yeah,
now.
I mean,
We
yeah.
didn't understand the political system.
Hopefully
I
that'll
voted
change.
Congress.
just fine.
No.
I voted, yes.
No, I'm just saying for my people.
No,
I'm
I
talking
feel
about
you.
for the youth because I think I'm probably the youngest person in this room. So for us, I love the youth and I love how galvanized we get, but we don't we don't vote local elections like we should.
That's because they don't understand it.
Right, and that's what I think, and that's why I really appreciate that there's a new rise in thought, and Obama really did help with that, inspire engagement.
Absolutely.
So I do, I give bro what I give bro, but if we talking about that statement, bro, that's not fair.
Right.
That's not a fair statement, bro. That's a harsh statement. Like I know men ain't.
That's a Michelle talking.
Yeah,
to
come
me.
on, bro. I mean, man ain't shit, but damn, nigga. I mean, we know he ain't shit, but damn, nigga.
Let me ask you this about voting. You said a very interesting fact. Being a young millennial, do you think that now with what we see with the presidency, that will change the way the next voting round happens? Because back in the day we had the Rock the Vote and we had Diddy doing all this stuff, and that really influenced the way the voting had really been done in the urban community. Do you think now that the millennials now look at this and say, okay, you know what? We messed up. We didn't vote. Next election, we coming in herds of just making sure that this changes.
Well, then let's if once again, that's a big deal to speak on a whole generation of people.
Sure.
By the way, I was born in 1990, so I don't know. But what I will say is, from the temperature I'm taking, my generation has, since I've been alive, buoyed between apathetic and angry. So I didn't even think, like, I remember when Mike Brown first got murdered. I didn't think nobody was going. I thought I was going to be in the streets by myself. Everybody was in the streets. Like, all the young people was in the streets. I'm talking about every gang member I knew, every church person I knew, everybody was upset.
Right.
And I was like, ooh, I like this. We out here. This is that 70. I like this. And then it dissipated when it came to actual political systems because I realized that they've already figured it out. The systems that be, the powers that be have already figured it out. Let y'all do all that rah-rah. But this is how the system has worked and it will work for years. That rah-rah cool. But if you ain't got no bill, if you ain't got no local congressman, do you know your alderman? If you don't know none of that, because you don't even know, like when the street messed up, who do you call?
Right. I mean,
When your street on your block is messed up, who do you call?
Yeah.
Bet y'all don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but when I'm in Beverly Hills and I'm with my bosses, they're like, oh yeah, I know my local representative personally.
Right.
I call him. They have a department that literally handles personal disputes. This is a meeting I was up in the vestiges of highest of Hollywood with a liberal man who was willing enough to share the information that, oh yeah, when there's something wrong with my street, I call this representative. He gets this done. I'm like, they have to have that for education.
Yeah.
They have to have that for like the disparity with like violence and drugs and murders, and they gotta have. Because if you complain to them and their jobs are on the line, then it's self-interest. Then it don't gotta be about who feel when somebody die, or it ain't gotta be about that now. Now it's, do you want your job?
Right.
We are your constituency. We have formed a large alliance of people who are voting. You know we vote. We have documentation that we vote. We vote this way. When you do this, we not voting that way. Simple. It's not hard. It's not difficult. But I be the youngest person at the town hall meetings. Because it's boring. Like, it's boring. And we don't see the dots connect because it's very hard. It's a difficult process. I don't even want to blame young people. They've made it so it's dense.
Yeah, but but there are statistics that show that they are signing up in droves to really push forward. I think in regards to what you were saying, based on what's happening in this presidency, it's about what this presidency is spawning. That's causing people to go, oh wait, because it's one thing to have a person in there that reflects one opinion, but then when others start reflecting their opinion, it start becoming a problem.
Right.
Which is why you had Charlottesville, which is why you had different things. So the young folks are seeing that, and they're like, yo, we need to do something about it. Whether it was in Florida to Texas, like people are really stepping out, even in California.
A liberal state. And that's real. Actually, I will say that. It's like he might be the best thing to happen to us. Because he might get people just angry enough to go past their anger.
I hope so.
To go to actual mechanical change. He might get people that upset.
I hope that's the case.
He getting, and I say this to no avail, like I love, I have friends of all ethnicities, races, and I hate that I have to even prelude it by that, but the fact of the matter is, he got white people upset. He got rich white people be mad.
Right.
When rich white people are mad and they're like, yeah, this is out of hand.
Right.
Russia, oh hell no. Like,
right. No, you're right.
We might have a shot. Like,
well, here's a little known fact is that the number one buying consumer in the world right now is the African American.
Absolutely.
At $1 trillion.
Yeah.
And then Nielsen put out a rating that says by 2022
we're supposed to be
1.7 1.7 trillion.
Yeah.
So when you upset us, you upset your bottom line. You see what I'm saying? So the people you're talking about in regards to who he's making upset, we're the ones that's coming in and buying.
Yeah.
You piss us off, we stop buying, and that affects.
The key is that we stop buying, and that's not what we're doing.
That's not.
And that's what we never do. And I'm receiving all of this and saying, I'm gonna go away today with hope, because I usually go away cynical.
We both do.
I'm trying to go away with hope, but
we both do.
So I'm gonna leave it at that. But we gotta stop buying, because I literally just had a conversation 3 days ago with somebody, and we were just talking about NFL and
because they really got a shot right now to go hard.
But they're not going.
They're not going to.
And neither are because there's so many people that are still totally fine watching it and still going to give their dollars to it.
Absolutely.
And we are exactly what you said. We have to stop buying into it, because that's the only thing that's going to change. The only thing that they hear is the green. They see it, they feel it, they hear it, they receive that.
But back to men, digressing that to the men that he was calling out, I think that it was very witty. I think it was very well placed. I think especially in this time, like I get really, and this is the problem I've always, if for all the love I give Obama, I treat him like a family member.
Yeah.
So like just because you my family, like if we was in a room full of white people, Obama's the best nigga on the planet. Period.
But see, that goes back to my point earlier.
Code of silence.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It goes back to my point earlier.
But since we on Black Hollywood Live,
Right.
I
We
feel
gonna keep it 100.
comfortable enough to be
Feel free
like,
to
well, you
say.
know, I wasn't okay with those bombings that happened at that table. I was, and like, I'm not gonna nitpick it, bro. Like, I know it's a difficult job, and anybody else want to take up the mantle, feel free. Try.
Sure.
I love Cory Booker. I think he should try. But you know what I'm saying? I know. But
I had hopes for Cory.
We have hopes
I
for
had
Cory.
a lot of hopes for Cory.
Maxine too old. Cory might have to do it. I'm just kidding.
Maxine is not too old. Hillary did it.
Maxine been that's my city. Like, okay, I love Maxine.
She'll never do
She-
it. It won't work.
but what I will say is when it comes to like, man, like I've always had an issue with the pandering
Right.
because it's a necessity of being a politician.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally, you have to literally pander. And if I was a woman, which I am not and never will be, it's like I would feel like, I mean, I appreciate you being real. Like the fact of the matter is men have had the ball far too
Sure.
long, and clearly we are fucking up.
Yeah.
Clearly, and I think that it's time to pass the ball, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
That I mess with, but to make an overarching general statement that kind of throws men under the bus for a witty line, to me is kind of indicative of some of the behavior I be like rubbing me wrong.
Right. I
personally.
feel you on that.
Just
No,
on that.
That's legit.
fair.
I feel that. That's fair.
You know.
All right. Well, I'm loving the discussion. I wish we'd go on for like hours and hours. We got to wrap soon, so I want to get into a couple things. First of all, you starring on Snowfall, which premieres
Tonight, y'all.
Tonight.
FX.
We got a little tease for y'all, a little clip to show you.
Ladies, I would like y'all to meet Franklin Saint, aka our savior, aka the big black apostle. What's going on, baby? Come on.
Franklin's fine, all right? I've been growing a business. I want to be careful about who know the recipe.
There ain't enough smokers in LA for all this
All
shit.
y'all gotta do is cook it up and break it down. I'll figure out how to move it.
I got 50 keys of Colombian white. I got no one to buy it.
So we need to find a drug dealer.
What kind of business we talking about? No games, no tricks, no bullshit. You be straight up with me, I'll be straight up with you.
Well, then I'm gonna make you a very rich man.
Coke from Colombia, that's how you're funding this? Even for the CIA, that's fucked up.
If we win this war, we can change the course of history.
I believe this drug is the future. I may be able to help you sell a lot more.
What you have to decide is just how big you want your business to become.
Money does fall from the sky.
We about to move into the big leagues.
I know what you've been doing, Franklin. You're welcome home when you stop.
How am I supposed to trust you?
You're being a little bit paranoid.
I'm a black man in America, goddammit. Hell yeah, I'm paranoid.
You just in danger walking down the street now?
The better we do, the more attention we get. More people want to take what we got.
This ain't no corner boy shit. You got one job in this life, and it's to protect the people you love.
Snowfall tonight.
That was intense.
That was intense.
Intense as a motherfucker. Dang.
So congratulations, first of all, on that.
Yeah,
And
Second season, yeah.
second season, people are loving the show.
Yeah.
Want to ask you, you're from South Central,
Yeah.
and how close to home with working on this project was it for you?
Oh, too close. They had us shooting in places I never would, like, it's funny, like, there's places I literally have been jumped at that we were shooting on. So for me, there's places that we shot that I was like, dang, I never thought I'd come over here.
Damn.
There's the tapestry of Los Angeles is definitely highlighted as far as landscape. I'll give it that. No problems off top.
Yeah. Now, how was it working with John Singleton on the show?
I mean, come on, bro. Like,
He's the man.
The interesting thing is, like, y'all want the real or y'all want the...
Oh, well, we only want the real. I mean, we always want the real.
John this season was like, he had his foot in everybody's ass this season.
Yeah.
This season, he's like, I'm there every day.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I heard, actually. He was on set, like, all the time.
Yeah, this time he was on set every day. First season he was on set, but he kind of let us, kind of figure it out, and he had another show. So, but this one he was like, I'm here.
Yeah.
He's like, take that off. Like, that hat is stupid. Like, just like that.
Yeah.
Like, over the show, right? Anybody. And I liked it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I came here for. I signed up. And, of course, the slew of directors, FX is really on this kind of pilgrimage to empower POCs and disenfranchised groups like women and bisexuals, transsexuals. So we had all types of, interesting people on the show's narrative. You'll see, like even in the club, there's, a whole group of, it's amazing.
Yeah.
They really trying to do their whole represent everybody thing.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't just... let's throw some force, because one of my favorite directors ended up to be a woman who happens to be married to a woman. And she was one of the best directors that season. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. You showed up. She came in, her name was Logan. She really showed up. And of course we had veterans like Alex Graves, who's amazing. And we had some young dudes. Everybody had their little role. Dan Attia. We had a bunch of people show up, Slim, and really young people, new people, varying backgrounds come in and contribute. So it was fun, and John was very adamant about that. So was FX. So that was cool to have that experience.
And then outside of this, I know you also love music. You both are, obviously musical geniuses. So what's next for you?
Oh, as far as music?
Yeah.
Man.
Or just in general. It doesn't have to be music, but just outside of music or your next project outside of this.
That's a long. What I would love to do is I have a movie with Overbrook, which is Will Smith's company, called Flint, that I'm doing about the Flint water crisis with.
Important subject.
Rose, we hopefully we can get that off the ground and get it shooting in November, which would be great. I'm just directing that. I don't even want to be in it. I just kind of want to tell the story.
That's dope.
The way that I would like to. I think it deserves to be told. And then what else? I have an album out right now, Confessions of a Lost Angel. So we'll see. I just kind of want to create.
And what's your sound?
Man, good shit. I just don't want to suck, dog.
Maybe you need to work with MC Nice right now. You know what I'm saying? I see a collaboration. I can do a little background vocal myself. Now, and with you, man, you were talking earlier about working with the legends Tupac and Nas. What do you feel about Nas's new album?
I think, it's weird because Nas has always been Nas. So if you know Nas's sound, that's what he reverted back to that. So for me it was just okay, this is traditional Nas, and although some people didn't like it, I thought it was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Myself.
Yeah.
But that's just my thought. You know what I mean? Even when I went in, right now I'm working on my new album, God's Bounce, and I had I listened to a lot of records to be inspired, right? And so I listened to a Nas, so I listened to a Dave East, you know what I'm saying? Or I listened to a Jay, just to see, okay, what is the movement like, or what is the mode like? So when I listened to a Nas record, I was just yeah, he went traditional.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go traditional with my record.
I was gonna say, how is this record different for you?
So my God's Bounce is gospel, of course, but I took funk and trap.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And combined the two.
Okay.
So I'm coming up with a funk trap version of a gospel record with some choirs on it, you know what I'm saying, and gospel on it. And that's my vibe.
I'm already feeling it. I already want to hear it. I want to hear it right. I want to be in the studio just listening from the background.
It's going to be something different. Even my whole album is called God's Show. Comes out January 2019, but my single comes out in a few weeks. And God's Bounce. And my whole album is neo soul funk, gospel. So I'm doing something different in a gospel perspective that you wouldn't even imagine, gospel doing. My single that was #1 on Billboard called "Glory to God" featuring Fred Hammond.
Yeah.
It was a record that Fred did that you wouldn't have normally heard Fred Hammond on this type of record. But the mere fact that he got on and the record went #1.
Damn.
You see what I mean? Yeah. So this year I had 5 #1. Well,
oh yeah, you killed it. I stopped writing down how many #1s and you was top 10. I was I can't write it down.
You know
no
what
more.
the unique thing about that is? I did that as an independent. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no major label. It was an independent. The label president happens to be sitting here, but
she's a black woman.
Black woman, right?
That's right.
Right. So when you talk about that women empowerment,
she's
doing it.
Yeah, she's one of the ones.
She's doing it. She's like, yup.
But the unique thing about it is she put the record in strategic situations that allowed it to be fruitful.
Yeah.
And when we set out to do that, we wasn't anticipating. This is my first gospel album. I came from the secular world. Like I said, I co-produced Tupac's Thug's Mansion, the acoustic version, right? But I also worked with Dr. Fink of Prince and the Revolution. I was on 6 motion picture soundtrack.
That's my jam. I love me some Wendy and Dr. Fink.
Well, I did Pop Life. We redid Pop Life, and
I gotta hear that.
It was the first record that Prince approved to go on the compilation record for Dr. Fink.
Listen, I gotta hear this. For real, I didn't know that.
I ain't gonna plug myself, but it's absolutely fire.
I know it.
I'm not gonna say anything, but it's awesome.
Yeah, but just to give you that back. I did 6 soundtracks. One won the Oscar in the movie Crash. Right. So I come from a lineage of really pushing the culture forward, and that's what I want to do with gospel hip hop is push the culture forward, but bring in some secular concepts as far as marketing, and that's what was lacking. And so now we coming in with that. And I was able to, achieve.
You got me.
I'm glad you brought that up. What do you say though to detractors? Because still in the church, like this idea of secular being brought into, like there's still a lot of pushback about that, especially from the music. Even though obviously, like our music is so intertwined and everything. Like as somebody coming from the secular world going into gospel, like how do you speak to those people?
Well, the unique thing about coming in from secular to gospel is that the church, the church or the gospel community has their own cliques. They're clicked up even more so than the secular world is, and sometimes, that could be a problem. Because here I am, a dude that has that's coming into this that they don't know. Normally, when you break gospel records, you got to go through the mega churches to get the approval, and then they stamp you. But we didn't do that. We came in and kind of shook it up a little bit. And so, it was for me. Period. It wasn't that it was hard. It was just a matter of we had a plan going in, and I think that's what's wrong with the gospel world. It's hard to really for them to plan things.
And then the last question: how do you balance both? You know what I mean? Because those are 2 totally different worlds. So how do you balance staying truthful in both sense? Authentic in both sides.
Well, I thrive on the scripture Jeremiah 29:11, and that says, "For I know the plan I have for you, saith the Lord, and that's the plan for good and not evil, so that you should not perish but have an everlasting life." At the end of the day, if you hold tight to faith and you hold tight to belief, then God's plan for you is good. So that's one way I navigate, and then another motto is to strive for perfection so that I limit my mistakes. We all gonna make mistakes because that's just the way life is set up. But if you're constantly striving for perfection, you won't make the same mistake.
On that note, that's the end of the show. Bam.
Thank you.
All right, Courtney, where can fans find you?
You can find me all over the social medias at Stewart Starlet, and this weekend at Comic-Con showing a film if y'all are there. Saturday night, 4:30.
Emcee Nice, Emcee N.I.C.E LA on Twitter and Instagram, and Emcee Nice Music on Facebook. And if you like cool pictures, go check out my Pinterest.
All right. Malcolm.
Mine's a little simpler. It's just Malcolm Mays. And you'd be surprised how many black people don't know how to spell Malcolm. It's 2 L's.
It's 2 L's.
It's just 2 L's, bro. Like it's 2 L's. So Malcolm Mays. And there's an I in front of it. And that's my Insta, that's my Twitter, that's whatever. I'm not really a social person, so.
But you can also catch them tonight. Season 2. Snowfall, FX. Don't forget that little
Wait, what time is it at?
It's 9, right?
9 p.m., right? Or 10. Wait.
Eastern or Pacific? We should. Let's figure this out right now.
You know what? Look at your local listings because everybody's different.
Yeah,
right. Check your local.
If you in LA, I think it's 10 p.m.
I think it's 10 p.m. for LA, but check your local listings. You can catch me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on the Reels channel doing my correspondence work for Broken Famous. And we will see you guys next week. We're going to go out with a bang right now with Emcee Nice's track. Peace.
Boom.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Derrial, Christon, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.